You know that isolating feeling you get when you're trapped 30,000 feet in the air and you're surrounded by people who want to kill you?
No, Cloud, I don't know that feeling.
Well, no, Booker becomes quite familiar with that sensation throughout this game. Especially the early part, because Elizabeth hasn't joined you yet. And believe me, the game changes dramatically once Elizabeth joins your party. I'm actually looking forward to it. But, okay, so that room that I just left behind, I'm going to be coming back to that because there's a chest in there that you can only open once I get a key from up ahead. It's going to be a recurring thing in this game where I have to either find a key or a code book that opens a secret passageway that allows me to access goodies and upgrades. But the shield upgrade is just one example of how the game improves the gameplay by forcing you to change your strategy. So those people arguing in the background are sympathizers for the slave population in Colombia.
So the Vox Populi.
I don't know, they're not with the Vox. They're with a separate organization.
Tim, the one they're after. Go.
You're so lucky I don't kill you right now.
They're here!
Oh no, they're looking!
Keep your voice down.
Or at least dramatically. Pay no attention to the sounds of extremely loud footsteps and opening doors. So I turn around and there are actually some African Americans in here. And you have to remember that pretty much every person of color or is Irish is heavily discriminated against in this society. It's essentially based on the Confederate States of America, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, every time you get a new salt, whenever you find a bottle of the same salt, it just refills a certain number of salts in your mana pool.
Okay.
That is a portrait of Abraham Lincoln.
Yes.
So there's a search party looking for me right now. That's why I'm going to peek my head out and not actually kill anybody. Well, I mean, I killed that guy.
You didn't kill him when you peeked out, though.
Yeah, never stand... The machine gun is mostly useful against early game enemies, especially the ones that just stand right in front of you. And yes, if you use possession twice in a row, it breaks the possession on the first one and causes the possessed human to kill himself.
Right.
So if you can use possession 4 times in a row, you can take out a squad just that quickly. You watch a bunch of people start beating their heads in with a pipe. It's really sick, especially some of the possessions you see later on, like with the rocket launcher enemies. Guess what they do?
They eat a rocket.
Basically, yeah, they fucking eat it alright. I don't know how often I actually use the melee attack. I'm not a big fan of melee combat in this game, unless you get very specific perks. The gear that you get in this game, the gear that you pick up in this game, which is randomly generated, by the way, it basically sets the tone for how you're going to approach fighting enemies. Thank God for vending machines.
It seems as though you have a fireman to fight now.
Yes. See, you remember that. Yeah, the fireman has a lot of health, and I can't use possession on him. He's impervious to possession. If I tried using it, it doesn't even, like, stun him, I believe.
Can he be afflicted by Devil's Kiss, though?
No, he cannot be afflicted by Devil's Kiss. The dude is on fire. I don't think he really cares. But, unfortunately, I end up spamming the vending machine because this dude keeps on taking out most of my health with his goddamn fire grenades. They do a lot of damage.
And you'll keep forgetting that there's a turret across the way that you have to avoid, too.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm nervous. Right now, I'm pretty sure I'm scared. I think I'm about to die. Because, like, yeah, as you pointed out, I don't know where that turret is. But that's okay, because I can restore 80% of my health for $36. Die, you son of a bitch!
Dude, you took a fire grenade to the face.
Oh, I take a lot more than that in this game. It's like sword, gunfire, fucking... Booker can take a lot of punishment because he's former member of
That means someone to someone out there. It doesn't mean much to me, though.
The Pinkertons was kind of like a police group, like an independent mercenary force that was employed by the employer, who would call the Pinkertons. Okay. Whenever a workers' dispute occurred, or a riot or a strike, the Pinkertons would call these people to rough up the rioters so that they would stop. That character, Preston Downs, you're going to see a lot of him throughout the game. I guess he's some kind of bounty hunter. I'm not sure exactly what his profession is, but Comstock contracted him to track down the leader of Populi, Daisy Fitzroy. He's one of my favorite characters. I like the way he presents himself, and also the way he develops. Here's a voxophone by him. Let's listen to it.
Comstock came by the wagon at dawn. Man was just transfixed by my trophy scalps. Asked about the white ones there. I said, well, sir, if your quarry dwells in the jungle and beds down with the local color, why split hairs?
Racism.
Not a
is
chuckle
funny.
out of him. Either he ain't seen a man go native, or maybe too many. Anyhow, now it's got me hunting down this Daisy Fitzroy.
This is the first reference, no, the second reference to Daisy Fitzroy we've heard. We'll also be seeing audio files from her fairly soon. This is the Lodge of the Ravens, the Fraternal Order of the Raven. It's an assassin's guild. And that is Comstock fighting off the Snake of Nations with the Sword of Justice. I don't know what that Latin says.
Well, at least if they happen to have a developed mythology for Columbia.
Oh, they certainly do have a developed mythology for Columbia. That is one of their idols up ahead, who we will see. Yep. John Wilkes Booth. The man who assassinated Lincoln by shooting a bullet in the back of the man's head. So, this place worships John Wilkes Booth because he was an assassin.
A successful assassin.
Yeah,
dude, you missed your possession there. Twice, even.
Twice, I might add. Not good. Not bueno, Cloud. That is, yeah, that's grounds for, like, I'm fucked. Because now I have 0 mana.
And you're also running out of pistol ammo relatively quickly.
Well, better drink some coffee. Because everybody knows you can't possess people unless you're fully awake in the morning. And cigarettes do what they did in the original Bioshock. They take away some health, and they give you some mana. So it's a pretty even exchange. Mm-hmm. This place is pretty creepy. I believe this is one of the creepiest places we've seen so far, and it gets worse from here.
And when the Angel Columbia gave unto the founders the tools to build a new Eden, they did so without hesitation. For
so,
85
remember,
years, they
the Confederacy believed that Abraham Lincoln was like the devil.
When the great apostate came, he brought war with him, and the fields of Eden were soaked with the blood of brothers. The only emancipation he had to offer was death.
I can't overstate how much the writing in this game is just awesome and very believable, especially with the historical context of this game.
Right.
That's an enemy that we're going to be seeing later on. But these guys are free game. That's why I'm going to shoot one of them and not kill him, and I'm possessing him anyway. Now we've got an army of idiots who are all running at me at the same time.
You know, you should probably just hang on the middle of the stairs and attempt to, well, melee them to death.
No, I would get gang raped by these guys pretty easily.
You actually use Devil's Kiss.
Well, yeah, Devil's Kiss uses less mana than Possession. So I could actually use it instead of having Trigger ready to use, but not enough mana to execute.
You end up doing what I said anyway.
These enemies are fairly weak. They don't have a lot of armor, and these zealots, the zealots, I believe, you can do a lot of damage to them with just headshots. do I throw another Devil's Kiss? I believe so. It's not but in a second. This is an infusion. When you collect an infusion, you can upgrade either health, shield, or mana.
Better already.
I highly recommend maxing out your shield first, so that it will basically act as a second health bar.
Right.
Alright, so I killed that guy with the melee. But you know the thing with melee attackers in this game is that when you melee them, they're very fast to respond with a melee back, so you end up taking a lot of damage.
I see.
Which is why I think melee sucks in this game. No, it doesn't suck. It really depends on what gear you have. We haven't seen gear yet, but you'll see how heavily it would influence gameplay, especially some of the really, really powerful ones. Now, I just possessed that last guy because I didn't feel like wasting bullets. So now I found the key that fits the lock in that chest, so now I gotta run all the way back. Let's listen to this on the way.
What exactly was the great emancipator emancipating the Negro from? From his daily bread, from the nobility of honest work, from wealthy patrons who sponsored them from cradle to grave.
So this is Comstock basically justifying slavery.
Why, go to Finkton and you shall find out. No animal is born free, except the white man. And it is our burden to care for the rest of creation.
Wow, he's a fanatic.
He's a racist. He's a fanatical racist.
But here's the thing: as fanatically racist as he is, he actually from the perspective of a person in the times, that would make a lot of sense.
That he would think that?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, racists have a warped view on reality. They believe that it is okay to subjugate other human beings.
But if you listen to that particular argument, he's saying that these slave owners are actually doing a favor by sponsoring and caring for their slaves.
Well, yeah, but he's appealing to the
like-minded
idealism
individuals.
He's appealing to the idealism of his followers. His followers want to believe that slavery can be done in a peaceful and civil manner, except there's nothing civil about slavery. So really, he's just talking out of his ass in front of, he's preaching to the choir. Everybody already loves the idea of slavery, that's why they do it. But the fact that he's justifying it, it's, from our perspective, it looks like he's just plain evil. Here's another infusion. Basically, whenever you get a key to a chest or a code book to a locked door, you get an infusion.
Okay, then.
This is a voxophone that explains how to get that key.
Otis works up at the lodge part-time. He took this box from one of their secret ceremonies. And I know for sure, there is something dear inside. Problem is, Otis is more fool than not. He didn't bother to also secure a key from the Feathered Brothers to open the damn thing.
Silver bars are worth 100 silver eagles apiece.
Ooh.
I anticipate I'm going to be getting a lot of money during this playthrough. You get several thousand gold by the time you're done.
Okay, then.
But you know how these games work. They gotta whet your appetite before they give you the whole glass of water.
Well, we still haven't actually paid the dentist yet, so there's that we have to consider too.
Oh god, that's right. You know what? It all makes sense now. The dentist put this money in here. He knew that you would have wanted it, and then he's gonna charge you an exorbitant fee for his services. Bastard. No, the dentist, he's gonna get a nice shot in the face as soon as I see him now. The Serpent of Nations, more racism. Because if you look closely at that statue, the serpent is a multi-headed creature with the head of a person from China, a Hispanic, and I believe an African.
Yes, an African American.
Well, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be American. But in the next part, Sic Semper Tyrannis! We'll be proceeding through the rest of the Lodge of the Raven. There's George Washington. Yeah. You know how these things happen.
Indeed.